As we think about changing spaces, one of the commentaries that I often hear about in terms of school buildings is if Rip Van Winkle were to awaken from his nap and return to America, one of the things that he would recognize, and probably the only thing, would be the American school building.
The current model of cells and bells is really about more of a 19th century education model where it's efficient. We have students in classrooms in rows, and they're just sitting there sort of intaking information from the teacher.
Having that room look the same as it did when we were in more of a lecture type system, I think kind of lends itself to why we need to move away from that mentality, because how we teach kids just doesn't fit with that anymore.
A lot of these classrooms go back to that cells and bells kind of model. So I think for future and for updating, if we could make spaces more open and more like real life rather than just closed off and compartmentalized.
As we think about spaces of the future, we have to really go back and look at the core educational strategies. And what is it that we really want kids to know and be able to do, and then build our spaces around that.
And we want to kind of give the building the look to match all of the expectations that are going on right now. I think technology is becoming such an integral part into our day, even at the elementary level.
Students today are really expected to know and to do many, many different things that we growing up didn't have to do or were expected to do. But they're doing it in spaces that were really designed for the 1970s, the 1980s. They're expected to graduate into a world that's very technology oriented, that's very collaborative. And they're learning and doing things in spaces that were not designed to accommodate that kind of learning and that kind of interaction between student to student and teacher to student.
Edina Public Schools need flexible learning spaces. They need places where students can collaborate, working in small groups and large groups. The ability to be able to be free, not be in a desk all day long. We have apps, we have games, we have so many different things that didn't exist in education even 10 years ago. And to think where we'll be in a few years, we need the ability to be flexible.
By renovating and remodeling our schools, it gives us an opportunity to think differently about how we use staff and how each staff has different strengths and how we can best use those strengths. And the current model of just one teacher for 29 kids, I think is somewhat outdated in the sense that we have a lot of excellent teachers that we like to share all of their abilities. And I think that this allows us to think differently about how we use our time, talent, and space that we have at Edina and how we can best serve the kids with all of that time, talent, and space that we have. And then it's just not locked into one teacher with one set of kids and that's it.
We have an opportunity to expand the STEM areas, and when it comes to engineering, we need expanded spaces, and this is an opportunity for Edina schools to become a leader in this area.
I think that it's really just going to allow every student to optimize the resources that are available to them. Whereas now, a lot of the teaching, you have to go at the teacher's pace. In the future, with a lot of these new spaces and just how classrooms are structured, it allows the student to go at their own pace, optimize their learning, which just really allows for a lot better comprehension of the material and, in the end, greater learning and success.
Students just sitting at a desk is great for some situations and for some times, but other times kids, just like adults, we all prefer to work in different places in different ways.
In a more collaborative environment, kids can definitely find other kids to work with and other strengths and not just always feel so, this is who I am as a math student and this is the only time I see these kids. They get to see you all day long, and teachers get to see you all day long in different roles too.
As a parent of a kindergartner in the Edina Public Schools, it's exciting to think how my daughter will learn. She will not learn the way that I learned. She will learn in her own way because she's learning skills in which we haven't even known what kind of job she's going to be developed for. So to have the opportunity to think that this referendum and what it could do for our schools is to be able to advance that and advance her learning in a different way in which I've never even been able to teach.